Hey YouTube, Blackwatch Jazz here, and today we are going to be reviewing the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron threezero Megatron. So here is the packaging here, and as you can see, it looks really nice, as you can expect with every other 3A, threezero figure, whatever you want to call them. So it's a nice heavy box, even with the figure in it. So we got Siege War for Cybertron DLX Megatron. We got Decepticon logo, Siege War for Cybertron, Megatron, this and that, and that's it for the packaging. Now, this is a very big boy, so I want to clear up as much space as possible for him here. Here we have Megatron out of the box here, and as you can see, this guy looks great. Again, a figure that 3A made. They never disappoint. They really don't. This guy is nice, chunky, and heavy. It looks just like Siege Megatron. I mean, come on. So, for some of his details, I'm going to start off with the head here. Painted really nicely here. So he's got a few gashes, like showing that he's been in a war, obviously. I mean, that's kind of the whole War for Cybertron deal. Moving down to the chest, he has all this really great weathering. Oh my god, this looks great. You got these two gashes here, these two holes. We got the Decepticon insignia here. We got where the lights are, which I'll show off in a bit. For the arms, they're almost the same, but they aren't, but they are. So, on the arms, we have more gashes and cuts, and all this lining detail that the original Siege figure had, which I can really appreciate that they added that. We got some die-cast joints here that you can see in the elbow. We got this nice metallic red with some nice detailing on it. And we got these little bar things. I'm not sure. Something I can really appreciate here is they made this piece and the actual fist itself a separate piece, which is awesome. This is something that, the original figure didn't have, which is kind of what prevented it from having its wrist swivel. But here we have his very iconic fusion cannon. It looks awesome. It definitely does the job. Looks just like the one that we got from the original Siege figure, Earthriser, whichever one you got. Down to the legs here, we got this really nice black and with the silver weathering here. We got like this bronze look on the side of the leg. We have the tires back here, which can roll, which is really cool. It's again a feature they didn't really have to do. On the back here, kind of like with the legs, black with the bronze detail. This is the backpack that was originally on the figure. So, yeah. I'm going to go now I'm going to go over his accessories. So, I'm going to start off with his fusion cannon here. Okay. Now, a problem my figure has is the connection between this piece and the actual fusion cannon itself is really loose. Like, if you're just having it like this, sure, it's decently tight, but like, when you actually have it in the arm, it pulls right out. It even falls off really easily. Let's see if I can see. Now, I don't really appreciate that, but I could probably just put some floor polish on that, and it'll probably thicken up a lot more. So, oh yeah, so I'm going to go over a little more on what the fusion cannon also does. Set this guy's side. Now, out of the box, this guy had this thing on, which, you just plug that in. Which, let's face it, everyone with common sense is just going to have it plugged into his forearm. He's not going to be wielding it like it's ooh, yeah. Like, he's not going to be wielding it like it's a gun. It's meant to be mounted to his forearm, so I'm not going to go into detail with that. So, yep. Then just plug that back into his arm there. Next accessory he has here is this big old sword that the Siege figure had. Now, there are a few different pieces that you can attach. I believe this one was the one that was already on it out of the box. You can pull this out, replace it with this one, and there is a bit of a shape to it. There's like this little slot right there, goes into there. Sure you can see that. Goes in just like that, so he can hold it a lot better. I'll go over that when I go over the hands. So, and there is one more handle for this. Not really even a handle though. Same spiel with that. You know, has a little tab, goes in, or little tab, goes in like that. Okay, I guess I lost the tab. There. Alright, so this tab is for the connection between the fusion cannon and the little sword thing. And they could have done so much more if they didn't do this. They could have just put in a light into the fusion cannon. I would have been so much happier, but it is what it is. I'm sure they'll make a premium scale version where they add a light into its cannon. But other than that, time to go over his hands. Set of hands are obviously a pair of fists. As a pair of relaxed hands, relaxed open hands, whatever you want to call them. More spread out like action hands. A pair of trigger finger hands. A pair of axe holding hands. So with the not axe holding hand, sword holding hand, you can take his big ol' sword, get this certain handle on, and you can kind of just wedge it into his hand. Kind of like with every other 3A, threezero figure. Kind of just wedged into his hand there. It doesn't look half bad. I'm not going to show off the trigger finger one with the fusion cannon because that's just stupid and everyone knows that. So, it looks really cool with his sword holding hand. So, now, to go over something that I'm sure a lot of people really want this figure for, his electronic features. So, first one here, I'm going to want to take out this piece here. Well, you weren't supposed to do that. So this piece here is his ab piece. Now there's two screws right there. You unscrew those and you put in two LR44s into there. And then that will be able to light up his stomach area by pressing this button. I'll show that off. Get the figure over here. Come on. Sometimes figures don't want to work with me. Don't even know why this guy fell over. Come on. Work with me, man. Work with me. Okay. There. There is how his ab piece looks with those lights on. Now, next LED function here, you're going to want to take off his head. So, there would normally be two screws here, but I decided to take them out and leave them out because, you know, if I want to, like, turn on or replace the batteries, I don't want to go through a whole unscrewing process. And, you know, the cap holds on pretty well enough that it's not just going to fall off. And so, you kind of just remove this. And in here is the electronic membrane where you put in the batteries. These are also LR44s. Same batteries as the stomach area. Then pop this back over his head. And there we go. There he is with his lights on. Now, I'm going to go over articulation here. His head is, obviously you saw on a ball joint, can move like this. His arm can move up at this hinge, then this hinge. And got a full 360 movement there. We have a bicep swivel there. Double jointed elbow. This black piece here is on its separate hinge. The wrist is at a ball joint too. Now, the back here. Okay, fine. The back here is on a hinge in case, you you want to take it off, which I don't think I'm going to show that off here today. Now, his waist can move a little bit side to side, and he has a pretty decent ab crunch. And something that they always do is add this feature here where it kind of like continues on, which, you know, I'm sure everyone can appreciate that. threezero always does that detail. So with the hip skirts here, they kind of are on their own hinge or ball joint. They hinge out to accommodate the leg movement there. He kind of kicks out like that far, and kicks back not far at all. But, you know, I'm sure people are going to want him kicking forward more than backwards. And this piece hinges down for some features that you might want to do. I forgot what for. He has thigh swivel. He has another double jointed knee. Now, this bends at this first joint, and then when you bend the second joint here, this panel pushes itself in, revealing this nice die cast. Now, for the foot, this piece is on its own piece and kind of hinge out there. He has an ankle tilt and can move forward and backwards. Now, I think it's about time I get to this, yeah? Time for the size comparisons between the other threezero figures I have. I'm not going to include my Nemesis Prime because it's basically just Prime. So here is Megatron. And, hold on, give me 1 second. And here is my DLX B. Obviously a big size difference there, as you can see. And here he is with, hold on, sorry. Here he is with threezero Soundwave. Hold on, let me get this guy standing up straight. Come on, stand up straight for me, would ya? Okay. threezero Soundwave. Normally he looks a lot taller compared to this guy. Oh well, doesn't matter. Final comparison with the leader of the Autobots from War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime. These two look great together. I'm not sure why Megatron's so much taller right now. Hold on. Well, I guess the ankles were just extended upwards a little bit. Well, here is a bit more of a proper comparison. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, there's a bit more of a proper comparison here between my four. Well, that's that. That was my review off of the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Megatron. If you like this review, then please consider checking out some of my other reviews. You don't have to, but the offer's open if anybody really wants to. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.